All right, day 4 of how I got to Costa Rica. I know day 4 is coming 4 days after day 3, but whatever, I've been busy. The story about my grandmother. My grandmother, obviously Nigerian woman from Benin City. Her husband, my grandfather, was a chief who had many wives. My grandmother was the first of many wives, and she had my mother and my mother's sisters. And my mother had many brothers, but all of them died mysteriously, either at birth, after birth, couple of years after birth. So my mother has no full brothers from her mother. She has got lots of half brothers from the other wives of her dad, but no full brothers. And we believe this is because the other wives, who were jealous of my grandmother, who was the first wife and most favored wife, they were killing all her sons. Every time she had a son, they died under mysterious circumstances. So I've got no full uncles on my mum's side of the family because of that. All her brothers, full-blooded mother, same father brothers, all died under mysterious circumstances. And my grandmother believed that the other wives were killing her sons. And my grandmother always believed that they were going to kill her. She always believed that and kept telling her husband, my granddad, to get my mother out of the country, because my mother was born at a time when girls were not really educated and sent to school. But my grandfather saw my mother's keen intelligence and sent her to private school and got her an education, to the point where my mother became a teacher and became a school principal by the age of 25, which made the other wives jealous because their kids were not being afforded the same opportunities that my mother was, which meant my grandmother was worried for my mother's safety and wanted my granddad to get her out of Nigeria and to England. Also, my grandmother wanted a better life for my mum. When she was younger, she used to say to my mum, when she was a younger mother, she used to say, when I come back, I'm going to be British. I'm going to be speaking English. I'm going to live in England. Because obviously Nigeria was a British colony, so England was kind of the motherland for Nigerians to go to gain their fortune and gain their education. So my grandmother was always saying, when I come back, because we believe in reincarnation. We are big believers in coming back and living lives again. So my grandmother used to say, when I come back, I'm going to be British. I'm going to live in England. I'm going to be educated. I'm going to travel the world. I'm not going to be married and have all these children. I'm going to live a life of freedom. I'm going to do a man's job. Yeah, I'm going to do a job that men are supposed to do. I'm going to be everything that I'm not in this life. And that's what she always used to say to my mum when she was younger. Fast forward. My grandmother died under suspicious circumstances. She was poisoned by the other wives, murdered. And when she died with a mark on her throat, either from the poison or trying to claw the poison out of her throat. I'm not quite sure. But when she died, she had a mark on her throat. Fast forward, my mum is now in England. My grandfather, after his wife was murdered by the other wives, gets my mother out of Nigeria to England. My mother's in England, she meets my father, they get married, they have children. I'm the first that comes out from the union of my mum and dad, and I'm born with this mark on my throat. And immediately my mother rejoices because, as I said before, we believe in reincarnation. Her mother has returned. In fact, my nickname in the family is Granny. My mother has been calling me Granny since I was a child. And look how I turned out. I basically turned out exactly how my grandmother said she would. I don't want to be married. I don't want to have all these kids. I want to live a life of freedom. I want to travel the world. I'm going to do a man's job. I used to build and repair elevators. I was the first female elevator engineer in Otis, UK's 100-year history. If that isn't doing a job that's meant for men, I don't know what is. And that's not even including the comedy, which was a very male-dominated industry when I got into it. So basically, I have turned out being all the things that my grandmother said she was going to be on her return. I don't think my mum quite expected me to be a lesbian, but when she wasn't, she wasn't too happy when I came out to her. I mean, she wasn't exactly over the moon. But I said to her, well, this is what your grandma wanted. Remember, I'm your mother. You have to respect my wishes. And this is how I came out. I don't want all these kids. I want to travel the world and see the world, which I didn't get to do the first time round. So, yeah, I'm a lesbo. Deal with it, mums. I never actually said that. And every time I go to a psychic, They always say the same thing. There's an older woman watching over you and guiding you. And I felt like she's guided me my entire life. And I've lived the exact life I want to live because of me and because of her. And which is kind of why I want to do ayahuasca or mushrooms or whatever. So I can get to that next plane and meet my grandma, the woman who's been guiding me. I don't know what she looks like. My mum left Nigeria in a bit of a hurry and she had no pictures of her mum. So I've never seen what she looks like. I've never seen a picture. I know nothing about her except the stories that have been passed down from my mum and her sisters. So I definitely feel like I've ended up in Costa Rica, partly because I'm being guided by my grandma. I believe that 100%, and I can't wait to meet her. And I fully believe in reincarnation and the spiritual realm, because I'm not the only reincarnation in my family. My brother Dele also is. Another quick story. So I'm born, mark on the throat. I'm obviously granny. I'm a reincarnation. My grandfather had also died before my mum and dad met. So my dad had never met my granddad. Anyway, my dad is studying in, at the time, Czechoslovakia. That was what the country was called at the time. One night he's asleep. He wakes up in the middle of the night and there's an older man standing by his bed. This older man quizzes him. Who are you? What is your family? You know, tell me about your family. You are married to my daughter, right? So this older man quizzes him about his family background and what, you know, and how he should be looking after, he better make sure he looks after my mum, which he never did anyway. But anyway, that's not the story. So this man quizzes my dad. Now, my mum is back in England. I'm 2.5 years old. My mum is pregnant with her second child. Now, this is in the 70s, before you knew what the sex of the child was going to be. All we know is that my mother is pregnant with her second child. My dad is having a conversation in another part of Europe with this dead man who says, you're having another child with my daughter. You're going to have a son. And you are going to name him Bamidele. So Bamidele is a Yoruba name. I don't know why my Benin grandfather was giving us Yoruba names, but whatever. Yoruba, beautiful language. And I knew mainly Yoruba people when I was coming up in England, which is why I made Bob Hearts Abishola based on a Yoruba family. Anyway, back to the story. Bamidele means follow me home. And it's a name usually given to Nigerian children who are born outside of Nigeria, away from the land of their parents. So this is why my grandfather gave my brother that name, because he was being born again away from his original land. So my dad runs to a phone box in the middle of the night, because this is the 70s, runs to a phone box, calls my mother at 3 in the morning and tells my mother, your dead father came to me. He came to me and you are having a boy and this is what we are going to call him. And my mother didn't go, what's up with you? Are you drunk? What have you been drinking? My mother was like, oh yeah, that sounds about right. Okay. And so my younger brother was called Bamidele, Dele, which is why in Bob Hearts Abishola, Abishola's son is Dele, named after my brother. So there you go. I'm only telling this story because I was having a conversation with Lovey Ajayi the other day, and she told me, why haven't you told this story on Instagram? And I was like, well, it's in my book. And then I realized I ain't a best-selling writer like her. Probably 17 people have read my book. So here it goes. Stories on Instagram now. Peace out.